Ladies and gentlemen, I want you to take a moment and ask yourself one question. Who is the most important person in your life? For many, the first thought is a spouse, a child, a parent, or a friend. But let me challenge your thinking today. The most important person in your life should be you, not in arrogance, not in selfishness, but in divine responsibility. Because if you don't take care of yourself, physically, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually, you will have nothing to give to anyone else. If you are empty, you cannot pour into others. If you are broken, you cannot build. If you are lost, you cannot lead. One of the greatest tragedies in life is not death, but a life lived without understanding its true worth. Every single one of us was born with a unique purpose, an assignment that only we can fulfill. But so many people walk through life unaware of the value they carry. They live by the opinions of others, shaped by the limitations imposed on them by society, their environment, or even their own fears. They allow circumstances to dictate their worth, never realizing that their value is not determined by external factors, but by the divine blueprint placed inside of them. To understand your value, you must first recognize that you are not an accident. You were not placed on this earth by chance. You were designed with intent, carefully crafted with gifts, talents, and abilities that set you apart. But the sad reality is that many people spend their entire lives seeking validation from outside sources. They look for approval from friends, family, or even strangers, hoping that someone will recognize their worth. They measure their value based on their job title, their financial status, or the opinions of others. But if your worth is dependent on external validation, then the moment those things are taken away, you will feel worthless. True value does not come from what you have or what people say about you. It comes from knowing who you are. It comes from understanding that you were created with a purpose that no one else can fulfill. No one else carries your exact fingerprint. No one else has your exact combination of skills, experiences, and insights. This means that you have something to offer the world that no one else can. But the only way to walk in that reality is to first believe in your own value. When you know your worth, you stop settling for less. You stop allowing people to mistreat you, to take advantage of you, or to make you feel small. You no longer tolerate situations that diminish your potential. You begin to rise to the level of your true identity. When a person knows their value, they set standards for their life. They refuse to allow negativity, fear, or doubt to control them. They walk with confidence, not arrogance, but a deep assurance that they are significant and that their life matters. But understanding your value is not just about how you see yourself. It's about how you allow others to treat you. Many people allow themselves to be mistreated because they don't believe they deserve better. They stay in toxic relationships, endure abusive workplaces, or accept less than they are capable of because they have not yet grasped their true worth. But when you truly know your value, you set boundaries. You refuse to let others define you or dictate what you can or cannot do. You recognize that you were created for greatness, and you walk accordingly. Think about a diamond. Whether it is covered in dirt, buried underground, or placed in a jeweler's case, its value does not change. A diamond does not lose its worth just because someone does not recognize it. In the same way, your value does not decrease because others fail to see it. Just because someone does not acknowledge your greatness does not mean you are not great. You must never allow someone else's inability to see your worth to make you question it. Your value is inherent, unshaken by circumstances, opinions, or temporary setbacks. Too often, people allow their past mistakes to define their worth. They believe that because they have failed before, they are failures. They carry guilt, shame, and regret, allowing those emotions to shape their identity. But failure is not an identity, it is an event. It is something that happens to you, not something that defines you. You are not your past, you are not your mistakes, you are not what people have said about you. You are valuable because of who you were created to be, not because of what you have or have not done. When you understand your worth, you stop living in fear. Fear of rejection, fear of failure, fear of not being good enough. These are the chains that keep people from stepping into their destiny. But when you truly believe in your value, you walk boldly into opportunities. You take risks. You speak up. you apply for that job, start that business, write that book, or pursue that dream. You refuse to let fear hold you back because you know that what is inside of you is greater than any obstacle in front of you. Another reason many people fail to recognize their value is because they compare themselves to others. They measure their worth based on someone else's success, beauty, intelligence, or achievements. But comparison is a thief. It steals your joy, your confidence, and your ability to appreciate your own uniqueness. No two people were created to walk the same path. You have your own journey, your own gifts, your own purpose. When you compare yourself to others, you diminish the significance of what you carry. You must stop looking at what others have and start recognizing what you have been given. Understanding your value also means investing in yourself. When you truly believe that you are valuable, you take care of yourself, physically, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. You feed your mind with knowledge. You surround yourself with positive influences, and you prioritize your personal growth. You do not waste time on things that do not contribute to your purpose. You do not engage in meaningless distractions or relationships that drain you. You make decisions that align with your destiny because you know that your time, energy, and resources are valuable. Many people walk through life waiting for someone else to give them permission to be great. They wait for a mentor, a leader, or an authority figure to tell them that they are good enough, smart enough, or talented enough. But the truth is, you do not need permission to be who you were created to be. You do not need validation from others to step into your purpose. You were already designed for greatness. You must decide to believe in yourself, to trust the gifts that were placed inside of you, and to walk in confidence, knowing that you are enough. Understanding your value changes everything. It changes the way you see yourself, the way you interact with others, and the way you approach life. When you know your worth, you stop playing small. You stop hiding. You stop living beneath your potential. You step into every room with the assurance that you belong. You speak with authority. You walk with purpose. You make decisions that align with your destiny. Your value is not determined by your bank account, your job title, or your social status. It is not determined by what people think of you or by the mistakes you have made. Your value is determined by the fact that you were created with purpose. You have something inside of you that the world needs, and until you recognize your own worth, you will never fully step into your potential. So today, make a decision. Choose to believe in your value. Choose to walk in confidence. Choose to invest in yourself. Choose to rise above fear, doubt, and insecurity. Because when you understand your worth, you unlock the door to your destiny. And once that door is open, nothing and no one can close it. One of the greatest misconceptions people have is that prioritizing themselves is an act of selfishness. They have been conditioned to believe that putting themselves first means neglecting others, that focusing on their growth means disregarding the needs of those around them. But this is a false idea that has caused many to live below their potential, exhausted, unfulfilled, and constantly drained. The truth is, prioritizing yourself is not an act of selfishness, it is an act of wisdom. It is an understanding that you cannot give what you do not have, that you cannot pour into others if you are empty, and that you cannot serve effectively if you are broken. Many people live their entire lives for others, always giving, always sacrificing, always putting everyone else's needs above their own. While sacrifice is noble and service is honorable, there is a fine line between helping others and neglecting oneself. When you consistently place yourself at the bottom of your priorities, you are not helping anyone in the long run. Instead, you are setting yourself up for burnout, resentment, and an unfulfilled life. You cannot be effective in any area, whether in your relationships, career, or purpose, if you do not first take care of yourself. Think about a car. If you continue to drive it without refueling or maintaining it, eventually it will break down. Not because it wasn't a good car, not because it wasn't built for the journey, but because it was neglected. In the same way, when you refuse to make yourself a priority, you will eventually find yourself running on empty. You will give and give until you have nothing left. And when that happens, you become ineffective in everything you do. Your energy is depleted, your mind is tired, your body is weak, and your spirit is discouraged. Many people feel guilty for taking time for themselves. They feel guilty for saying no, for setting boundaries, for resting, or for pursuing their own dreams. but guilt should never be associated with self-care. There is a reason why, on an airplane, passengers are instructed to put on their own oxygen masks first before helping others. If you lose consciousness because you fail to prioritize your own survival, you will be of no help to anyone else. The same principle applies in life. If you neglect yourself, you cannot properly help, lead, or support anyone else. Self-priority means recognizing that you are valuable. It means understanding that your well-being matters. It means making decisions that protect your peace, your health, and your purpose. It means understanding that saying no to something that drains you is actually saying yes to your growth. It means realizing that you cannot be everything to everyone while neglecting yourself in the process. Many people have been conditioned to believe that love means sacrifice to the point of self-abandonment. But love should never require you to abandon yourself. True love, whether for a spouse, a child, a friend, or a community, must come from a place of wholeness. You cannot give what you do not have. If you are not at peace, how can you bring peace to others? If you are not growing, how can you help others grow? If you are not well, how can you effectively serve? Some people are constantly exhausted, not because they are working too hard, but because they are carrying responsibilities that are not theirs to carry. They say yes to everything, they take on more than they should, and they live their lives pleasing others at the expense of their own well-being. But when you prioritize yourself, you begin to discern what truly deserves your time and energy. You begin to understand that you were never meant to be all things to all people. You realize that you have the right to say no without feeling guilty, that you have the right to rest without feeling lazy, and that you have the right to protect your energy without feeling selfish. Many people struggle with the idea of self-priority because they have been made to believe that their worth is tied to how much they do for others. They feel that if they stop giving, if they stop sacrificing, if they stop constantly being available, then they will no longer be valuable. But your worth is not tied to how much you do for others. Your value is not measured by how much you give until you are empty. True worth is in knowing that you are enough even when you are not constantly pouring into everyone else. When you prioritize yourself, you begin to function at a higher level. Your mind becomes clearer, your energy increases, and your purpose becomes sharper. You begin to set goals that align with your destiny. You begin to focus on what truly matters. You no longer allow distractions to consume you. You stop seeking validation from others and start building yourself up from within. You recognize that prioritizing yourself is not a selfish act, but a necessary step toward fulfilling your destiny. Many people live their lives as people pleasers, afraid to disappoint, afraid to say no, afraid to put themselves first. But living for the approval of others will only leave you frustrated and unfulfilled. You were not created to be controlled by the expectations of others. You were created to live out your purpose. And that requires you to prioritize your own needs, your own growth, and your own well-being. The reality is, when you make yourself a priority, you become a better version of yourself. You become a better spouse, a better parent, a better friend, a better leader. When you take care of yourself, you are able to give more effectively. You give from a place of abundance rather than from depletion. You serve from a place of strength rather than from exhaustion. You love from a place of wholeness rather than from brokenness. One of the biggest lessons in life is learning to differentiate between sacrifice and self-neglect. Sacrifice is noble, but self-neglect is destructive. Sacrifice comes from a place of love, while self-neglect comes from a place of insecurity and a lack of self-worth. You must understand that it is possible to be a giving person, a loving person, and a kind person while still making yourself a priority. Taking care of yourself is not just about physical well-being. It is about mental, emotional, and spiritual well-being as well. It means setting boundaries to protect your peace. It means surrounding yourself with people who uplift rather than drain you. It means pursuing things that bring you joy and fulfillment. It means investing in your personal growth and development. It means taking time to rest, to reflect, and to realign with your purpose. Some people believe that taking time for themselves is a luxury, but it is actually a necessity. Rest is not a reward, it is a requirement. Reflection is not a waste of time, it is a vital part of growth. Taking time to recharge is not selfish, it is strategic. The most successful and impactful people understand the importance of self-prioritization. They know that in order to be effective, they must first take care of themselves. You must shift your mindset and understand that prioritizing yourself does not mean you care less about others. It means you care enough to ensure that you are whole, that you are strong, and that you are in a position to truly make a difference. When you prioritize yourself, you are not neglecting others. You are preparing yourself to serve them better. You are positioning yourself to be the best version of who you were created to be. You are stepping into a life of purpose, clarity, and true fulfillment. One of the most powerful decisions a person can ever make is to take full responsibility for their life. Many people go through life blaming circumstances, blaming their past, blaming their environment, or even blaming other people for where they are today. But the truth is, no matter what has happened to you, no matter where you started, no matter who hurt you or who abandoned you, the responsibility for your future rests in your hands. Until you take full ownership of your life, you will always remain a prisoner to excuses, waiting for someone else to fix what only you have the power to change. Taking responsibility means understanding that no one is coming to rescue you. No one is going to show up one day and suddenly make your life better. No one owes you success, happiness, or fulfillment. If you want to live a life of purpose and impact, you must decide to take full ownership of your thoughts, your choices, your actions, and your destiny. There are people who waste years waiting for the right opportunity, waiting for someone to believe in them, waiting for life to be fair. But life was never designed to be fair. It was designed to reward those who take action, those who refuse to be victims of their past, and those who rise up with determination to shape their own future. The greatest power given to human beings is the ability to choose. Every single day you have a choice. You can choose to grow, or you can choose to stay the same. You can choose to let go of your past, or you can choose to be trapped by it. You can choose to blame others, or you can choose to take responsibility. But whatever you choose, you must understand that your choices shape your life. The life you are living today is a direct result of the choices you have made in the past, and the life you will live in the future will be a result of the choices you make today. Many people do not take responsibility for their lives because it is easier to blame external factors. It is easier to say, I didn't succeed because I didn't have the right opportunities. It is easier to say, I failed because someone held me back. It is easier to say, I am not happy because of what happened to me. But as long as you continue to place responsibility outside of yourself, you will never be free. Blaming others gives away your power. It puts your future in someone else's hands. But when you decide to take full responsibility, you reclaim that power. You begin to see that no matter what has happened to you, you still have the ability to create a new future. Some people go through life carrying a victim mentality. They believe that life is happening to them instead of realizing that life is responding to them. They believe they are powerless because of what they have been through. But the truth is, no one can make you powerless unless you give them permission. Your past may have shaped you, but it does not have to define you. What people said about you may have hurt you, but it does not have to control you. What happened to you may have been painful, but it does not have to limit you. You have the power to rise above any situation, but that power is only activated when you take responsibility for your life. Taking responsibility means refusing to be controlled by fear. Fear is one of the greatest barriers to success, and many people use it as an excuse to stay stuck. They say, I can't start that business because I might fail. They say, I can't change careers because I might not succeed. They say, I can't go after my dreams because I am afraid of what people will think. But the truth is, fear will always be present when you are stepping into something new. Courage is not the absence of fear, it is the decision to move forward despite fear. The people who succeed in life are not those who never feel afraid. They are those who refuse to let fear stop them. Many people are waiting for the right time, waiting for everything to be perfect before they take action. But there will never be a perfect time. There will never be a moment when all the circumstances align in your favor. You have to start where you are, with what you have, and trust that as you move forward, everything you need will be provided. Waiting for the perfect conditions is just another way of avoiding responsibility. It is another way of delaying your destiny. If you want to change your life, you have to stop waiting and start acting. Taking responsibility also means embracing discipline. Many people want success, but they do not want to do what it takes to achieve it. They want financial freedom, but they do not want to discipline themselves to save and invest. They want to be physically healthy, but they do not want to discipline themselves to exercise and eat right. They want strong relationships, but they do not want to discipline themselves to communicate and invest in people. Success is not about wishing, it is about working. It is about doing what is necessary even when you don't feel like it. Discipline is the bridge between where you are and where you want to be. And until you take responsibility for your daily habits, you will never see lasting change. Another key to taking responsibility is understanding that your thoughts shape your reality. Many people fail in life not because they lack opportunities, but because they have a mindset that keeps them small. They see themselves as incapable, as unworthy, as undeserving of success. But your mind is the control center of your life. If you believe you are a failure, you will act like a failure. If you believe you are not good enough, you will never step into opportunities. But if you believe you are capable, if you believe you are worthy, if you believe you have what it takes, then nothing will be impossible for you. Your environment may have influenced you, but it does not have to control you. Some people grow up in negative environments where they were never encouraged, never believed in, never given the tools to succeed. But the greatest power you have is the ability to reprogram your mind. You can change the way you think. You can choose to surround yourself with people who uplift and inspire you. You can choose to feed your mind with knowledge, with wisdom, with positive influences. The moment you decide to take control of your thoughts, your entire life will begin to change. Taking responsibility also means letting go of excuses. Excuses will always keep you in the same place. They will keep you comfortable, but they will also keep you stagnant. The moment you stop making excuses and start finding solutions, you will begin to move forward. You may not have had the best start in life, but that does not mean you cannot create a great future. You may not have had all the resources, but that does not mean you cannot succeed. The most successful people in the world did not have perfect conditions. They simply refused to let excuses stop them. You were created with potential. You were designed for greatness. But that potential will never be realized until you take responsibility for your life. No one else can do it for you. No one else can make you successful. No one else can make you happy. It is up to you. The moment you take ownership of your destiny, everything begins to change. You stop waiting, you stop blaming, you stop making excuses, and you start living with purpose. That is the key to unlocking the life you were meant to live. The greatest investment you will ever make is not in stocks, real estate, or business ventures. It is not in material possessions, titles, or accolades. The greatest investment you will ever make is in yourself. When you invest in yourself, your mind, your character, your skills, and your purpose, you position yourself for a life of true success, fulfillment, and impact. Many people spend their entire lives chasing external wealth while neglecting their internal wealth. They work hard to acquire things but fail to develop themselves. They invest in temporary pleasures but neglect their long-term growth. They seek validation from others but ignore the importance of self-discovery. But true success is not about what you acquire. It is about who you become. Your greatest asset is not what you own. It is who you are. Everything in life flows from the person you become. Your relationships, your career, your influence, your legacy, all of these are reflections of the investment you make in yourself. A person who neglects self-growth will always be limited in what they can achieve. No matter how many opportunities come their way, they will not be able to maximize them because they have not developed the capacity to handle success. But a person who is intentional about growth will continue to rise no matter where they start in life. One of the greatest investments you can make is in your mind. The mind is the control center of your life. The thoughts you entertain, the knowledge you acquire, and the beliefs you hold shape your destiny. Many people limit themselves because they have not invested in renewing their minds. They allow negative thoughts, fears, and doubts to dictate their actions. They accept limitations imposed by society, culture, or their past experiences. But the person who invests in developing their mind will always rise above challenges. They will see opportunities where others see obstacles. They will find solutions where others see problems. Knowledge is power, but only if you apply it. Many people acquire information but never act on it. They read books, attend seminars, and listen to motivational talks, but their lives remain the same because they do not apply what they learn. Investment in knowledge must be accompanied by action. Every piece of wisdom you gain should translate into decisions, habits, and disciplines that move you forward. The difference between those who succeed and those who do not is not intelligence. It is the willingness to apply what they learn. Another critical investment is in your character. Talent may open doors, but character keeps them open. Many people have risen to great heights only to fall because they lack the integrity, discipline, and wisdom to sustain their success. Character is the foundation upon which lasting success is built. It is what determines how you handle power, influence, and wealth. It is what determines how you treat people when you have nothing to gain from them. It is what determines whether success will destroy you or strengthen you. True character is developed in the unseen moments. It is developed in the small, everyday decisions when no one is watching. It is developed in how you handle adversity, how you respond to criticism, and how you treat people who can do nothing for you. If you invest in becoming a person of integrity, discipline, and wisdom, you will attract opportunities that others miss. You will gain the trust of people who matter. You will build a reputation that outlives you. Another essential investment is in your skills. No matter how talented you are, if you do not develop your skills, you will remain stagnant. Talent is a seed, but skills are what make that seed flourish. Many people rely on raw talent alone, but the most successful individuals are those who refine their abilities through learning, practice, and discipline. The world does not reward potential, it rewards excellence. If you want to stand out, you must commit to mastering your craft. Investing in your skills also means staying adaptable. The world is constantly changing, and those who refuse to grow will be left behind. Many people become obsolete in their industries because they stop learning. They become comfortable with what they know and fail to recognize that success requires continuous evolution. If you invest in learning, improving, and adapting, you will always be ahead. Another critical area of investment is in your health, physical, emotional, and spiritual. Many people neglect their health in the pursuit of success, only to find that success means nothing without well-being. You cannot fulfill your purpose if you are constantly exhausted, sick, or mentally drained. Your body is the vehicle that carries you through life, and if you do not take care of it, you will not be able to sustain your vision. Physical health requires discipline, eating well, exercising, and resting. Emotional health requires guarding your heart, choosing the right relationships, setting boundaries, and processing emotions in a healthy way. Spiritual health requires connection to a higher purpose, seeking wisdom, aligning with principles of truth, and living a life of meaning. If you neglect any of these areas, you will not be able to function at your highest potential. Your relationships are another key investment. Who you surround yourself with determines the direction of your life. The people you associate with can either elevate you or pull you down. Many people fail in life not because they lack potential, but because they are connected to the wrong people. If you invest in cultivating relationships with people who challenge you, inspire you, and push you toward greatness, you will go further than you ever imagined. Investing in relationships also means giving value. Many people seek to receive, but never seek to contribute. They look for what they can gain from others, but fail to ask what they can offer. The most powerful relationships are built on mutual value. If you become a person who adds value to others through wisdom, encouragement, support, or resources, you will never lack opportunities. Perhaps the most important investment of all is in discovering and fulfilling your purpose. Many people go through life chasing success, but never finding fulfillment because they are pursuing things that do not align with who they were created to be. Success without purpose is empty. Wealth without impact is meaningless. True fulfillment comes from living a life that makes a difference, a life that contributes to something greater than yourself. Discovering your purpose requires self-reflection. It requires asking deep questions. Why am I here? What am I passionate about? What problems am I uniquely equipped to solve? What legacy do I want to leave behind? The answers to these questions will guide your decisions, your priorities, and your direction in life. Once you discover your purpose, you must invest in fulfilling it. Purpose is not automatic. It requires commitment, discipline, and perseverance. There will be challenges, setbacks, and obstacles, but if you remain focused on your purpose, nothing will be able to stop you. When you invest in your purpose, you do not just create a successful life, you create a meaningful life. The greatest investment you will ever make is not in things, but in becoming the best version of yourself. Every other investment can be lost, money can be taken, possessions can fade, opportunities can disappear, but what you become is something that no one can take away from you. When you invest in your mind, your character, your skills, your health, your relationships, and your purpose, you build a life that is not only successful but significant. That is the greatest investment of all.